If you are an American and you are thinking about dating a South African woman, pause for a moment. Because what might begin as a beautiful adventure can quickly become one of the most complicated, demanding, and overwhelming cultural experiences of your life. Welcome to Cultural Clashes, the channel where we uncover the truth about what really happens when love crosses borders. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe, leave your comment, and share this video. Because after hearing this story, you'll definitely want to join the conversation. South African women are magnetic. They are known for their strength, resilience, warmth, and beauty. South Africa is a land of diversity, with 11 official languages, multiple ethnic groups, and a history of struggle and transformation. For an American man, meeting a South African woman can feel like stepping into a world of charm, power, and mystery all at once. But behind the allure lies a cultural complexity shaped by family, tradition, history, and survival that many Americans are completely unprepared for. Let's imagine a couple. Michael, a 34-year-old American from Los Angeles, meets Thandi, a 27-year-old South African woman from Johannesburg. At first, their connection is electric. Michael is drawn to her confidence, her beauty, and the way she seems to embody strength and grace at the same time. Thandi is fascinated by his American humor, his relaxed approach to life, and his sense of adventure. Their first conversations are filled with curiosity. He wants to know everything about her world. She's intrigued by his openness and freedom. At first, the differences feel exciting, but soon, those differences become heavy, revealing the clash between their worlds. The first cultural clash comes from family expectations. In America, relationships are often private between two people. In South Africa, family is central and deeply involved. Thandi's family expects respect, visits, and consideration in almost every step of the relationship. Uncles, aunts, grandparents, and siblings all play a role. Michael thinks family gatherings are fun at first, but quickly feels overwhelmed. He wants independence, private weekends, and time alone with Thandi. She, however, insists that family comes first. For her, love is proven not only by commitment to her, but also by respect for her family. For him, constant family involvement feels intrusive. Cultural diversity within South Africa itself adds another layer. Thandi's traditions, language, and values reflect her heritage. She might be Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, or from another cultural group. Each has unique customs and expectations about relationships, respect, and roles. Michael, who grew up in a relatively uniform cultural environment, struggles to adapt. When Thandi expects him to follow certain customs, he feels lost. When he resists, she feels insulted. What he calls individuality, she calls disrespect. Gender roles also become a battlefield. In America, equality is emphasized. Men and women share responsibilities, bills, and decisions. In South Africa, while women are strong and independent, traditional roles remain powerful. Thandi expects Michael to take leadership, provide financially, and prove his seriousness through actions. When he suggests splitting expenses, she feels disappointed. For her, a man shows his love through provision and strength. For him, equality shows respect. What he calls fairness, she calls weakness. Jealousy and possessiveness take on different meanings. Thandi expects Michael to show protectiveness, to care when other men look at her, and to demonstrate jealousy as a sign of devotion. Michael, raised in a culture where trust means freedom, stays calm. He believes jealousy is toxic, but Thandi interprets his calmness as indifference. For her, passion is proven by intensity. For him, passion is proven by trust. The more he stays calm, the more she feels neglected. The more she demands, the more he feels suffocated. Race and history create another layer of complexity. South Africa's past of apartheid and racial division still shapes daily life. Interracial relationships can carry social stigma or family disapproval, depending on the community. Thandi might face criticism from her relatives for dating an outsider, while Michael might underestimate the weight of these historical scars. He cracks jokes or speaks lightly about race, not realizing how deep the subject runs. For her, his casualness feels ignorant. For him, her seriousness feels overwhelming. Religion and tradition add more strain. Many South Africans are deeply religious, with Christianity, traditional beliefs, and other faiths playing strong roles in identity. Thandi expects Michael to respect her faith, to attend church with her, or to honor traditions. Michael, who is more secular, feels pressured. When he resists, she feels disrespected. For her, faith is identity. For him, faith is optional. Even social life becomes a challenge. Thandi loves gatherings, community, and celebrations. South African culture thrives on hospitality, music, and dance. Michael, who sometimes prefers privacy, feels drained. For her, life without community feels empty. For him, constant socializing feels exhausting. What she calls joy, he calls chaos. Money and responsibility highlight deeper expectations. Thandi believes a man proves his seriousness through financial stability. When her family faces challenges, she expects Michael to help, as loyalty to family is part of love. Michael is shocked. He believes a relationship should be between two people, not an entire extended family. For her, refusal to help feels selfish. For him, the expectation feels unfair. Communication styles also cause friction. Thandi is expressive, passionate, and direct. Michael is more laid back, preferring calm conversations. When she raises her voice in an argument, he feels attacked. When he stays calm, she feels ignored. Their love languages do not align. Even daily habits show the divide. Michael wastes food casually, throws away leftovers, and spends freely. Thandi is appalled. In her culture, where poverty and scarcity have touched many lives, wasting food is unthinkable. She sees disrespect where he sees nothing wrong. What he calls comfort, she calls carelessness. As weeks turn into months, the differences begin to wear them down. Michael feels suffocated by constant expectations, family involvement, financial responsibility, traditions, and intensity. Thandi feels disappointed by his independence, his casual approach, and his lack of seriousness about her culture. What once felt like attraction now feels like conflict. This is why so many Americans are shocked when dating South African women. At first, the beauty, the warmth, the charm, and the resilience feel irresistible. As months pass, Michael and Thandi's relationship begins to shift from thrilling to exhausting. What started as fascination now feels like constant negotiation, and every cultural difference that once seemed charming now feels like a burden. Michael still admires Thandi's strength, her beauty, and her loyalty, but he struggles under the weight of her expectations. Thandi still values his humor, freedom, and ambition, but she feels disappointed by his casual attitude toward her culture and traditions. The first clash that deepens is marriage expectations. In South African culture, when a relationship becomes serious, the family expects clear intentions. Thandi's parents begin to ask questions. Is Michael planning to marry her? When? How will he support her? In many traditions, there are even rituals like lobola, bride price, that symbolize respect for the woman's family. Michael, who sees marriage as a personal choice between two people, is shocked. To him, the idea of negotiating with her family feels transactional. To Thandi and her relatives, it is respect and tradition. When he resists, they see him as unserious. For him, their expectations feel like pressure. Race and history become unavoidable. South Africa's past of apartheid still shapes relationships today. Some people openly question interracial couples. Thandi sometimes faces subtle judgment from her community, while Michael struggles to understand the depth of that history. When he downplays it, thinking the past is over, she feels angry. For her, history is alive in everyday struggles. For him, it is history class. His casualness feels like ignorance. Her seriousness feels heavy to him. What he calls moving forward, she calls denial. Family obligations grow heavier. Thandi's family expects her partner not just to support her, but to show loyalty to the family itself. When her younger brother needs tuition money, she hints that Michael should help. When her parents need repairs for their home, she expects him to contribute. Michael is stunned. In his world, responsibility ends with the couple. For Thandi, refusing to help family is selfish and shameful. For him, being asked feels like exploitation. Jealousy and control escalate. Thandi wants Michael to show passion by setting boundaries, by protecting her fiercely. She wants proof that she is his priority. Michael, however, believes trust should be enough. He has female friends, socializes freely, and sees nothing wrong with it. Thandi becomes suspicious, demanding explanations and reassurance. For her, jealousy means devotion. For him, jealousy means mistrust. Their fights grow louder, each accusing the other of not caring enough. Even social life creates exhaustion. Thandi thrives in community music and gatherings. She expects Michael to attend endless family events, traditional ceremonies, and social outings. At first he participates, but soon he feels drained. He wants privacy, quiet weekends, and independence. She feels abandoned when he resists. He feels suffocated when she insists. What she calls joy, he calls chaos. Gender roles remain a constant issue. Thandi expects Michael to lead, provide, and protect. Michael wants partnership, equality, and shared responsibility. She interprets his hesitation as weakness. He interprets her expectations as outdated. The more he pushes for balance, the more she insists on tradition. The more she insists, the more he withdraws. Religion and values also create distance. Thandi is deeply rooted in her faith, attending church regularly and observing traditions. She expects Michael to respect and join her. Michael, who is secular, struggles to connect. He attends at first to please her, but eventually stops. Thandi feels disrespected. He feels forced. For her, faith is identity. For him, faith is optional. Even daily habits become points of conflict. Michael spends freely, wastes food, and treats resources casually. Thandi, shaped by a society where poverty has touched many families, values frugality. She is shocked by his wastefulness. He laughs it off. She sees disrespect. What he calls comfort, she calls irresponsibility. As time passes, both begin to feel exhausted. Michael feels trapped in a web of obligations: family, religion, tradition, financial responsibility, and social pressure. Thandi feels unloved, unprotected, and unsupported by a man who seems unwilling to meet her culture halfway. What once felt like attraction now feels like conflict. This is the reality many Americans face when dating South African women. At first, the charm is irresistible: the beauty, the warmth, the loyalty, and the strength. But soon, they discover that South African love is not light or casual. It is tied to family, tradition, history, and duty. It is heavy, demanding, and consuming. Does this mean it never works? Not always. Some couples survive. Some Americans adapt, embracing family obligations, traditions, and faith. Some South Africans adjust, embracing independence, equality, and freedom. But these cases demand patience, sacrifice, and compromise beyond what most are prepared for. Most relationships collapse not because of lack of love, but because love alone cannot bridge such heavy cultural divides. So, should Americans date South African women? Only if they are ready to trade independence for obligation, privacy for community, and casual love for serious commitment. Only if they are prepared to carry the weight of history, family, and tradition, because dating a South African woman is not just romance. It is stepping into a world where love is duty, family, and culture